Hello, everybody. It is me again, and been a little bit since I've been on here. We've got an issue going on in Washington. It has nothing to do with the imminent change of the NFL name. I'm sure many of you may have heard by now about the possibility of a major scandal brewing involving the Dan Snyder organization. There has been precious little released about it. I don't know anything about it. There is an interesting story on ESPN's website. I'll go ahead and read part of it to you. Washington NFL team hires attorney to review protocols. Doesn't have a say here exactly who wrote it, so I'll just go ahead and read it verbatim. Washington's NFL team has hired D.C. attorney Beth Wilkinson of Wilkinson Walsh LLP to review the organization's protocols, including its culture, policies, and allegations of workplace misconduct, Wilkinson confirmed in a statement on Thursday. Wilkinson has represented the NFL in a lawsuit challenging the league's Sunday ticket package and has also successfully represented the NCAA and Major League Baseball in class action lawsuits. While Wilkinson is expected to conduct a deep dive into the organization's past culture, team officials are highly upset and frustrated about ongoing online speculation, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Sources told Adam Schefter that the Washington Post is preparing a story about the team that is expected to highlight the culture that existed and some of the problems that were created. Within the past week, front office members Richard Mann III and Alex Santos, as well as radio play-by-play voice Larry Michael, have left the organization. It has been reported that 3 minority shareholders are seeking to sell their interest in the team. The minority shareholders have hired an investment bank, Moog and Company, to vet buyers, a league source told Adam Schefter. Now, why is this going on? Why is all of this speculation going on as to what has happened? I watched earlier on a clip from the Pat McAfee show that had some speculation that Pat McAfee apparently was told by someone about it. I really don't know what's going on. I don't want to go out on a limb and say what I think is going on or what possibilities are going on. All I know is this. This team does not need another scandal. The name change has really shattered the fan base. I think we could very well see some major changes coming to that organization. I honestly believe that Dan Snyder will be forced to sell the team sometime in the near future. Maybe by the end of this year, maybe early next year. I think that if this scandal is as bad as as I've been hearing, and I'm not going to speculate on anything, there's a lot of rumor and innuendo going on out there right now as to what this might be. Let's face it, anything is possible right now. And I don't want to go headlong into something that I don't have any proof of. It's insane what's been going on right now. And the longer this goes on, the more I really wonder what we're going to see out of Washington in the near future. The name change is coming. We know that they announced on Monday that they're going to get rid of the Redskins name. And now it's a matter of working out an agreement with this guy that has all these trademark names, which I don't know if this guy really understands that, he may not be on good legal terms I just don't think this guy understands that, he's squatting on these names basically, and this is not exactly anything new, so I just don't see that happening. Let me go ahead and read you the story about that on the name. Washington fans' hobby could result in a trademark tussle with NFL team. This is by John Keim, an ESPN staff writer. It started as a joke, then turned into a hobby. 6 years later, it also turned Martin McCauley into potentially a key player in Washington's quest to trademark a new name for the football team. McCauley has filed up for 44 different trademark applications of names Washington ostensibly could choose. His latest filing on July 8th, the Washington Red Wolves. That joins a list of including Red Tails, Monuments, Veterans, Red-Tailed Hawks, Americans, Braves, and Renegades. There's also the Freedom Fighters and the Radskins. Okay? Washington announced on Monday it's retired its previous name. It might not be nameless for too long. It also might be trying to trademark a name that McCauley either might own or one for which he has already submitted an application. He's quoted as saying, "They'll probably use one of my names." In 2014, when speculation focused on a new name for the Washington NFL team, McCauley noticed people filing for trademark applications on what he considered joke names. So he joined in, registering for the name Washington Pigskins. A love for trademark applications was born. Each application costs $275, which he considers the cost of his hobby. The 61-year-old actuary, who has also written books on real estate, lives in Alexandria, Virginia, and is a fan of the Washington team. But McCauley says the money he saves for not attending games gets spent on trademarks. In many cases, the fans who submitted for trademarks let the application die because they have no intent of doing anything commercial with the name. But McCauley took it one step further, buying 100 pigskin coffee mugs and putting them for sale online to meet a requirement that helped get the name registered. He said the NFL's trademark attorney sent him a letter saying they would allow the name. As he collected names, McCauley added to his merchandise to make it appear as if he were using the trademark. He created the website WashingtonAmericansFootball.com to sell his wares, but he really has no interest in the hassle of doing so. He didn't want the headaches of packing up the goods and shipping them and collecting income tax, so he abandoned those efforts. He is quoted as saying, "I said if you want to come get this stuff, it's free. I gave the rest to charity. I keep a few mugs and coasters. I lost interest in the hobby, never sold anything." The trademarks are good as long as the trademark's owner is using it for commerce, and the trademarks don't allow for squatters' rights. Remember that part. Because of renewed talk about Washington's name, McCauley again showed interest in the trademark game. He got back to work. He checked the odds of various names and snatched up what he could. In some ways, he could present a hurdle for Washington, but he also could make the franchise lives easier if it wants to use one of his names. McCauley said on July 4th he told the NFL via email he could have his trademarks for free. He said the league never responded. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think he really has much of a leg to stand on. I think more than likely he's just wanting some money. I think the Washington will probably pay him some money for it, a few $1,000s. You know, there's a lot. Whatever name they choose, he could either get a small percentage of, or a large $100,000, maybe $200,000, and the Redskins would more than make up for that, or I should say the Washington, whatever, more than make up for that. Now, here's the thing: with all the name hullabaloo going on, that's bad enough. But the fact is that you have a situation where if this scandal is as bad as I've heard some of the rumblings going on about it, and I hope to God it's not anything nearly as bad as what we've been hearing, because we don't need that right now in the world of sports. You know, things are crazy enough as it is. And this team has suffered from losing season after losing season after losing season for so many years. The Dan Snyder regime has been really god-awful. The last time they made the playoffs was when Joe Gibbs came back for that short stint a few years ago, and even then that didn't last long. I just don't see how we're going to see. I'm trying to find out. There we go. Trying to find out some news about it on BleacherReport.com. I just don't see this team staying in Dan Snyder's hands if this is as bad. There's been some talk about what's been going off the field and on the field. Is it a scandal that's like what happened with the Patriots? If that's the case, yeah. I don't think anybody really wants to see, if you're cheating, at least cheat to win. If you're cheating and you're not succeeding, oh boy. I will say this. I think that, I'm trying to, here we go. I'm going to see if I can find some information on Washington about this story from BleacherReport.com. I don't see anything more about it right now than what we've already seen. So there's a lot going on there, and I just really don't know what to expect. So I really hope that this is all something that's amount to, well, they may have cheated a little bit, like the Patriots and all that. They'll get the little slap on the wrist and all of that. I just don't see how this is something like that. The way they've been talking about this, it just reeks of something really bad. And there has been some speculation. I don't really want to go there because of legal things. But if you read about it online, it's... So, I think there's a very serious chance we could see some major changes coming to D.C. in the near future, and not just the name. But we're going to keep you posted. I'll probably, if I hear more, I'll talk about it tomorrow or